Good morning. Happy Saturday. Today is March 23rd, I think. Yeah, March 23rd. And we have a little light dusting of snow. I think I'm recording. I hope I'm recording. So this will be the last video of this current Hostess Club. And we are using these two, not that set. These two sets. We have Enduring Beauty, which is a stencil die stamp set combo. And then this Heartfelt Hellos, which was a celebration item in January and February. So if you got your hands on that, great. If not, that is okay. Make sure you are able to, you can really use any sentiment you want. It doesn't have to be from here. It can be from here or any other sentiment set that you like. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set those aside. Here are the two cards that we are gonna make today, both colored using stencils. Now, stencils, these stencils are amazing. I generally stay away from flowers because I am not really good at coloring them, but look how gorgeous this is. Like, so easy to do. And here we are. We have like this one that is not even stamped. It is just stenciled, and we're going to start with this one today. So let me go ahead and set those aside and grab my stencils. Now you'll notice that the stencils have a little like notch cut out right here. And this notch is so important and makes lining up your stencils so easy. Also, the stencils are numbered 1 through 5 up in the corner right by that notch. You can see that right there, 1, 3, 2. Mine obviously are not in order, but you don't have to go in that order, and you will see as I am creating, I do all of my flower parts first. So these 3 are the flower parts, and then these 2 are the leaf parts. So I generally like to do my flower parts first, all the layers, and then I will come back in and I will add my leaf parts. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with number 1, and I'm going to take some adhesive here, and I'm just going to put a little adhesive on the back of this, just so that I can stick it down and it does not move. Now, it doesn't have to be straight, okay? And I purposely have offset it. So I'm going to look at my stencil, and I am going to kind of position it where I think I want it. So, about there. That looks good. And then I'm going to just take my magnets, and I'm going to take Berry Burst. Now, that's one of the colors we're going to use today, but it's a nice dark color, and it makes it easy to see. And I'm just going to take and put a little ink on all 4 corners. Carefully on this one not to get into my paper there. Sorry about the dogs barking in the background. And then once I have that, you can't see the one that's down here by me, but once I have this in place, lining up my stencils becomes so much easier. So make sure the one in my bottom corner that is off screen, that one is the little corner that has the little divot taken out of it. All right, so the colors I'm going to use on my florals today are Bubble Bath, and then Moody Mauve, and then Berry Burst for the very centers, okay? So we're going to start with Bubble Bath, and I'm just going to ink up my brush, and then starting on my stencil and moving on to my paper, I'm going to lightly, now these are blending brushes. You don't have to press super hard. They are meant for a light application. So if you want your ink darker, you could use foam daubers or pouncers, or just keep coming in and applying more ink, okay, until you get the color that you are looking for. Okay. Now this isn't going to be a smooth blend, and I'll tell you why. We're going to add some layers to it. It's going to add definition, and they're floral. So I'm going to go ahead and take my magnets off this. I'm going to pull this stencil up. Notice my paper did not move. Okay. I'm going to set that aside because I'm going to use it again when I come back to do this upper corner. So I'm not going to clean it because the colors are going to be the same. So here is my little divot triangle, and I'm just going to line that up with all 4 triangles or 4 corners, just like I had before. Now I'm going to take my Moody Mauve, and I'm just going to come in lightly and add some dimension. Now these stencils, if you're pressing too hard, you're going to bend them. So it's very important for you just to be light-handed. You can add more ink and come in, and I go in a circular motion. I like to go clockwise and counterclockwise to get to all those edges. Okay, I think that is going to look good. I'm going to pull that stencil off carefully, and there we have our second layer. And now our third layer, again, lining it up with those ink marks in the corners makes lining up these stencils so easy. And now I'm going to take my Berry Burst, and I'm just going to go just lightly. Berry Burst is a very rich color, so it doesn't take a lot of layers, which is also why I chose that as my corner markers. All right, so there we go. There's our Berry Burst. And now I'm going to come in with my leaf stencils. And I'm going to set these 3 over here. And for my leaves, I am going to use Lemon Lime Twist for the lighter color. And I'm going to use Granny Apple Green for the darker. And again, with that divot in the same spot, I'm just going to lay my stencil down. And you'll see it lines up perfectly every time. So it's really important for you to not only tack down the piece that you're working on, but also make markings so that stenciling is so easy. All right, coming in with some Lemon Lime Twist. I love that punch of green, yellowish green. Love it. Now I used, I think, Old Olive and Mossy Meadow on my sample card. So today I was feeling a more bright. So when I picked out my colors, that's how I got them. All right, now I'm going to take my magnet off, take my stencil off, set it to the side, grab my next stencil, line it up, just like so. And I'm going to grab my Granny Apple Green brush. And I'm going to go ahead and just ink those up. I'm applying a little bit heavier hand towards the bottom of them and letting them kind of fade off into lighter just to add a little dimension. And you can go as dark or as light as you want with this. Okay. All right. And now my first set of flowers is done, and that was no stamping at all. So I'm not going to move my paper, but I am going to spray a little water on my little rag here, and I'm going to wipe off my corner marks because I'm going to make some new ones so that I can do the top corner. All right, so coming in with my floral stencil, I'm going to take my greens, set them over here. I'm going to move these ink pads out of the way. And I'm going to decide where I want this one to be. And I think I'm going to flip it this way so it's in a different orientation. There we are. I'm going to come in with my berry burst again, and I'm going to mark my corners so that they're nice and easy to see. I am not going to mark this one down here just because it is so close to my panel that I do not want to get ink on it. All right, so I'm going to start with bubble bath. And remember, just lightly coming in, not too heavy because you don't want to bend your stencil. This one doesn't have too much of a bend area. Maybe this part right here if you were to scrub too hard. But again, you know, just softly, have a soft hand, forwards and backwards. All right, that looks good. Okay, you'll notice that it's not real smooth or blended, but that's okay. I'm going to take these off. I'm going to set this one over here because I am now officially done with that one. And then I'm going to bring in my next color. I'm going to line it up with my divot first. That looks good. And now I'm going to come in with my Moody Mauve. That's this one here. Nice and light, counterclockwise and clockwise. You can go as dark as you want. That looks good to me. I'm gonna take that one off and come in with my last one, lining up my stencil, just like so. Now, if you did not have, like I have a magnetic glass mat, there are other products on the market that you could use, such as a Wendy Vecchi magnetic craft mat. You could also just tape down all the things. Just tape down your stencil so it doesn't move. That would also work. So there are lots of options that you could have. And there we are. So that is my florals, and they are done. So I will be washing all of those off here shortly. But I want to come in and do my two greens. So I have my base of my leaf. Again, that was in Lemon Lime Twist. And then I did the veins and such in Granny Apple Green. So Lemon Lime Twist. And you'll notice that my leaves are going to overlap a little, and that's okay. I'm going to go with a lighter hand on those ones that are going to overlap, just so that they will look like, you know, they're layered and not on the same level. Okay? Go ahead and take that one off, set it aside. I'm going to grab my last stencil here. And I'm going to grab close my Lemon Lime Twist because we're done with that one, and bring in my Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to go ahead and add that. Make sure you get all the open areas. You don't miss any. All right, so there is my panel. I'm going to take it off of my mat here. Just going to peel it up like this, and there we go. So that is my gorgeous floral panel. And I tell you, not any two ever look the same. And I'm going to take my stencils here, and I like to use alcohol with my towel here, and I'm just going to spray with alcohol. Now my bottle's a little bit empty, so I'm going to hold it up to spray. And then just lightly rub. Get all the ink off front and back. And I like alcohol because, number one, It does prevent the ink from staining for the most part. And it dries super, super quickly. All right, go ahead and spray this one. Give it a light wash. Front and back. Now, pink is a stainer, so make sure that when you are spraying, you spray all of the pink. Otherwise, it'll feel like it's going to stain. Okay? Go. And my last one. Now, this one, make sure you do those corners really well. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll set those stencils aside and we will finish up our first card. I'm going to bring this back in. I have this piece of Moody Mauve and I have my card base here. But first I want to add my sentiment, and it says, enjoy your day. And I am going to use some VersaFine ink. Now I'm using VersaFine because it is super rich and dark and just really will pop. And I'm going to, sorry about my, I'm going to move this down so I can make sure I'm doing it straight. Watch, sorry about my head. And there we go. Nice black crisp in one shot. All right, so I'm going to take my ribbon. Now this comes in a ribbon bundle. It comes with pink and yellow and blue. However, this is it. This is all I have left after 2 rolls. So I'm going to have, oh, here's the blue. I'm sitting here. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, so I'm going to tie my bow first and do the very best I can to not have much waste of this ribbon, because there is nothing left. All right. So now I'm going to take a glue dot on each end of my ribbon so that I can wrap it. Oh, that did not stick. Around the back of the white piece of my card. Now you could also, I think on my original card I wrapped it around the mauve as well, but this one I'm just going to wrap around the white. Oh, there we go. Now I'm going to be very careful not to touch that Enjoy, because that VersaFine ink does take a little bit to dry. And I do not want to smear it. All right, gonna stick my glue dot there. All right, while that's flipped over, I'm gonna take my Stampin' Dimensionals here. Let me grab those. And we are gonna cover, oh no, we're not gonna cover the back of this. We're gonna put it on the Moody Mauve. All right, so I'm gonna stick that there. I'm going to get out my liquid glue. It's a little stuck. A little plug this morning. Hopefully I can get that out. And I'm going to center it onto my Moody Mauve. There we go. And then I'm going to take a glue dot and I'm going to put my bow, and I'm going to put my bow down a little bit so it does not interfere with Enjoy Your Day. Oop. And there we have it, just like that. So let's go ahead and finish this card up. This is a lot of back, so I'm going to just take the edge of my Stampin' Dimensionals, because I'm lazy this morning. I'm going to move that over. Here we go. And then I'll do a few on the middle. Just like that. Peel off all the backing. There we are. And we're going to pop that right on to the front. Now, like I said, I like to keep my card base flat. And then once I get everything on there and lined up, I will fold it and burnish my edge. There we go. And now we need to add just a few of our rhinestone gems. Just to give it a little pop. Now you could also take your Wink Stella and add that to the centers of the flowers. Wouldn't that be just gorgeous? So that is our first card. So here is the first card and the second card, and you can tell me in the comments which one did you like better, the one with the old olive and less floral up in the corner, or more floral with the lemon lime twist. All right, let's go ahead and set those aside. Now the next card is done with partial die cutting, and so that's the technique we're going to show you today. I am going to change the color to Bubble Bath, and this comes from the 6x6 designer series paper that comes in all the colors. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my card base and I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to burnish that with my bone folder. There we go. And then in my little mini Misty here, I'm going to stamp my florals using Momentum ink. There we are. Go. And I'm going to stamp it one more time just to make sure I have nice black lines. Now when I stencil these flowers, I will not be using the middles, the flower middles. I will just be using 4 out of the 5 stencils. All right, there we go. That looks great. I'm going to go ahead and, this is an intricate, so I like to use my stamp cleaner spray and my little scrubby just to get into all those little grooves and nooks and crannies. And there we go. And now that's clean and it'll be ready to put away. I'll let it just dry. Okay, so here we are. Here is my card. Now I'm going to open this up and I'm going to put just a little adhesive right here and on this outside edge. Now this outside edge will be cut off and this middle will be covered. So that's why I chose to do it that way. And I am going to set that right about there. Hopefully the whole stencil will line up in the picture. So when I am thinking, oh, I need to line this up, I always look for this flower here because it's the one that's kind of by itself. And then I'm able to just line it up like so perfectly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and magnet that down and magnet that down. And I said I was going to use Bubble Bath for this, but again, I'm going to need something dark for my corners. So I'm just going to take the residual ink that's still left on my brush. Okay. There we go. Now, for this one, I'm only going to use 2 colors. I'm going to use Bubble Bath and I'm going to use Granny Apple Green. Those are the only 2 colors. So you don't have to have 4 colors for each one. Okay. So I'm going to take my first layer of Bubble Bath and I'm going to lightly. Now, you can color these flowers. If you are a colorist and you have mastered the art of floral coloring, color away, my friends, color away. I, however, have not mastered the art of floral coloring. And so these stencils, oh my gosh, how easy would it be to mass produce these cards and do a bunch of them? Like you could put with sympathy, you know, or thank you, or happy birthday. All right, so that's the first one. When I remove that stencil, you can sure see it pop. Now I'm going to take the second one and I'm going to line it up with my ink marks. Okay. Go ahead and pop those down, and I'm going to come in with Bubble Bath again. I'm going to just add more ink, the same color, so it's going to be darker when I reveal, and you'll see that pop. And remember, on this one, I'm not going to use the centers of the flowers because I already have the black. Okay? The black is already there. You could add some sparkle, some stickles. You could put some gems, rhinestones in the middle. I think on my original card, I used some stickles. So you're going to go until you think, okay, we're good. If you want to check it, check it. I think I'm good. I'm not going to check it. There we are. Number 2. So I'm going to put my centers to the side. I am done with my Bubble Bath. Go ahead and set those ink pads to the side, and I'm going to grab my Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to take my first leaf stencil, and I'm going to just line it up. With the stamped images, it's a lot easier to line up without the markings, but with the markings, it's still even easier. All right, so I'm going to go light with the Granny Apple Green because I'm going to add a second layer over the top. So there is my light Granny Apple Green. And then finally, my last layer right here. Get that lined up. And I'm going to come in with a darker hand on my Granny Apple Green, really working it into those small, fine areas, but not pressing too hard because I do not want to ruin my stencil. Okay. There we are. Look at that. And this one is all the ink blending is done, just like that. So, what do you think? All right, I am going to go ahead and I am going to clean off my stencils real quick so that they are done and I don't forget to do it later. I didn't use that one. There we are. Those are all clean and ready to go right back into their packaging. And hopefully by me cleaning, that slowed me down a little bit so that you are able to catch up for those of you following along. And if you ever get like ink on the outside of your ink pads of other colors, alcohol will just take it right off. Just a little quick spritz and make sure your ink pad's nice and clean again. Okay, so let's talk about partial die cutting. Now I have my Gemini Junior sitting right next to me, and I'm going to take my panel here. Let me grab my die cut right here, and I'm going to line it up. There we go. I'm going to take my removable tape and I'm going to tape it down so that it does not move. Okay, right there and right there. Now I'm going to line up. Here's my plates. Here's my sandwich. Okay. This is my cutting plate. And then the rest of these I will lay right on top, okay? So I'm going to take and I'm going to line up my card to look like it is about halfway. And then I'm going to lay my sandwich on top. So whatever your die cut sandwich is for whatever machine you are using, you're going to have this part sticking out, okay? So it won't cut anything on this side. So let me run that through my die cut machine. All right, bring that back. Pull this off. Pull this off. Set my plates over here. Now you can see on the back, it only cut halfway. All right, like I said, that one side that I had put the adhesive on was going to get cut off. So now you have two options. You could just use scissors and cut down, or you could use your paper trimmer. I'm going to line my paper trimmer up. I'm going to cut up to where it starts, and then I'm going to cut down. And hopefully that lined up pretty well and comes out. If not, I can fussy cut just a little bit to get the rest of that out of there. All right, so I need to do just a little bit of fussy cutting. There we go. And then on this side, and there we go. And then that is removed. So I'm going to go ahead, and now that is your partial die cut card. I'm going to take my bubble bath patterned paper, and I am going to cut it down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. Standard card measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And let me see, which side do I like best? There's the polka dots, and then we have the stripes. I'm feeling the stripes today, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue those stripes side up. Okay. Pop that right in there in the center. Now, if you cut your paper and you changed your mind and you have that little edge sticking up on your paper from the cutter, go ahead and just take your bone folder and press them down on all 4 sides. All right, now I'm going to take my hello sentiment. Now, hello, hold on, I left it over on the table. There we are. So this hello came from that same stamp set that says heartfelt hellos. And I chose it because it's all connected. And I took it and stamped a bunch on some white cardstock. And then I used my scan and cut them out. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use those. Let me grab some mini dimensionals. And we're going to pop this up on the front of our card. Just like that. And peel all the backings off. And I'm going to use a pair of tweezers to help me with placement. Right there. That way my fingers don't get in the way. And I am going to use some of these sparkly sparkles. What are they called here? These ones are iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. And I'm going to use 5 of these on my card, and then it's going to be done. 1, 2, 3, 4. Always in not odd numbers. There we go. And I think that is beautiful. Now, where is my original card? Oh, there it is. So my original card, I used some Prismaglitter in the centers. I'll probably go ahead and add some stickles, but you can see that the colors are just gorgeous. It doesn't matter, and you cannot mess these flowers up. There's so much dimension and shadow. So anyway, I hope you liked my Hostess Club for the last 2 years. Thank you again for being involved and hanging on for 2 years. I did not go to the Stampin' Up! Convention on stage, but I am aware that our Hostess rewards are changing, so I will be announcing those changes coming up in May to sign up for a new Hostess Club starting in June 2024. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay warm and enjoy your Saturday. Bye for now.